You weren't supposed to hear this, but now that you're here, let me tell you about the phone call Sheriff Daniels received. It was an ordinary Tuesday evening in the small town of Riverton when the sheriff's office phone rang with an eerie message. The voice on the line was calm but urgent, warning of an impending catastrophe. What makes this unusual is that the caller knew specifics, details only someone with intimate knowledge could provide. The air seemed to hum with tension, like the calm before a storm. Yet, as soon as the call ended, the record of it vanished. The sheriff tried to trace the call, but the number was unlisted, and the line was dead. The next day, a devastating flood struck Riverton, just as the mysterious voice had predicted. Roads were washed away, homes submerged, and lives uprooted. The sound of rushing water and distant cries filled the air, a constant reminder of the town's sudden vulnerability. The townspeople were left wondering if they could have done something if they had known more. What remains unexplained is the disappearance of any evidence of the call. Phone logs showed no record, leaving Sheriff Daniels in a state of disbelief and frustration, his thoughts heavy with unanswered questions. As the floodwaters receded, the town gathered to discuss the strange warning. The community center was filled with anxious whispers and the faint smell of damp wood. Some believed it was a hoax, while others thought it was a divine intervention. Sheriff Daniels found himself torn between skepticism and belief. He reviewed security camera footage from the night of the call, hoping for any clue, but found only static at the crucial moment. The sheriff's mind raced with possibilities: government interference, a technical glitch, or something more sinister. The sense of unease grew as he realized the implications of what had occurred. Sheriff Daniels consulted with an old friend, a retired telecommunications expert, to dig deeper into the anomaly. Despite his friend's impressive credentials, even he was baffled by the lack of digital fingerprints. Together, they theorized about signal interference, but the absence of data pointed to deliberate erasure. The expert warned of ghost calls, messages that exist briefly and then disappear without a trace. This added a layer of chilling reality to the mystery, suggesting whoever made the call had advanced capabilities. Their conversation lingered in the air, heavy with unspoken fears and the weight of possible truths. The townspeople began to whisper about other unexplained events, linking them to the mysterious call: a power surge that wiped out data on local servers, a series of strange lights seen over the river, and the sudden disappearance of an elderly resident. Each incident, when examined, seemed to trace back to the phone call. Sheriff Daniels, while skeptical, couldn't deny the growing list of coincidences. The air in Riverton felt charged with anticipation, as if the town itself was holding its breath. He found himself checking over his shoulder more often, wondering if unseen eyes were watching and waiting. The sheriff's investigation led him to an abandoned building on the outskirts of Riverton. It was rumored to have housed a government project long ago. The structure was derelict, with rusted metal doors and broken windows, but inside, he found remnants of sophisticated technology. Wires hung from the ceiling, and a dusty server room hinted at activities once conducted in secret. The air was thick with dust, and the faint smell of rust, a testament to years of neglect. Sheriff Daniels couldn't shake the feeling that the building held clues to the vanishing call, as well as the town's other mysteries. Sheriff Daniels decided to re-interview the few witnesses who had claimed to see the strange lights over the river. Their accounts were consistent but vague, describing the lights as dancing in the sky without a clear source. One witness, a local fisherman, mentioned hearing a low hum accompanying the lights, a detail that intrigued the sheriff. This hum was not recorded by any nearby devices, adding another layer to the mystery. The fisherman described the sound as a deep vibration that seemed to resonate within him, a chilling sensation that lingered long after the lights disappeared. Could it have been linked to the technology found in the abandoned building? As the investigation deepened, Sheriff Daniels received an anonymous letter, warning him to stop asking questions. The letter arrived without a postmark, its origins untraceable. It was the first tangible threat he had encountered, and it sent a shiver down his spine. The letter was brief but clear. Some things are better left unknown. This veiled threat only intensified his determination to uncover the truth. He began to suspect that his investigation had struck a nerve with someone powerful. The unease settled in his bones, a constant reminder of the unseen forces at play. The sheriff's persistence eventually led him to a retired intelligence officer living quietly in Riverton. The officer hinted at a covert operation involving experimental technology capable of altering communication records. While he couldn't provide direct evidence, his words aligned with the patterns Sheriff Daniels had uncovered. The officer's cryptic warnings suggested that such technology was not only real, but still in use. This revelation opened a troubling possibility: that the erased phone call was part of a larger clandestine agenda. The officer's eyes, shadowed and knowing, seemed to hold secrets of their own, leaving the sheriff with more questions than answers. Despite the mounting evidence and eerie coincidences, Sheriff Daniels found himself at a standstill. The townspeople were divided, some supportive, others suspicious of his motives. The flood had receded, but the memory of the warning call lingered, an unresolved puzzle. The sheriff documented his findings meticulously, knowing they might be needed one day. He felt the weight of the unknown more than ever, aware that the answers might always remain just out of reach. As he sat alone in his office, the shadows deepened, and the silence was filled with the unspoken questions that haunted him. The file stays open. Whether anyone's still reading it, that's another matter. In the weeks following the flood, Sheriff Daniels noticed a subtle change in the town's atmosphere. People spoke in hushed tones, casting wary glances at strangers and familiar faces alike. The sense of community was overshadowed by a collective suspicion, as if everyone harbored secrets of their own. The local diner, once a hub of lively conversation, now felt subdued, its patrons absorbed in their private thoughts. Sheriff Daniels couldn't help but wonder if the mysterious call had planted a seed of distrust that would linger indefinitely. Each day, he felt the weight of the unsolved mystery pressing down on him, like a persistent shadow. One late evening, Sheriff Daniels returned to the site of the abandoned building, driven by an inexplicable urge to uncover more. The moon hung low, casting an eerie glow over the dilapidated structure. As he walked through the shadowy corridors, the silence was palpable, broken only by the occasional creak of the floorboards. In a forgotten corner, he discovered a hidden compartment containing old equipment and reels of film. The discovery was both thrilling and foreboding, hinting at stories untold. The sheriff sensed he was on the verge of uncovering something significant, yet the specter of danger loomed ever closer.